We will see new jobs in 2024, but what part of the government will have a hiring surge this year? For the last 20 or 30 years, the federal government has been right around the 2 million employee mark, but there are still federal agencies that want to increase their numbers dramatically. And to get an idea on which agencies this will be, let's take a look at last year. We had the Department of Veteran Affairs hire over 60,000 new employees. This helps a lot with the increasing amount of claims, the disability, the medical appointments. We have over 18 million veterans in this country, and many of them are entitled to health care. This is going to increase even more. We heard about the burn pit and the health implications they had on veterans that went to Iraq in 2003, 2004. Same thing with Afghanistan. If you were in those countries as a veteran during that time period, the chances are you were exposed to burn pits. Then we had the IRS add 11,000 new workers. This is due to a renewed effort in order to collect some taxes that is owed to the government. I think right now it's over $600 billion that is owed to our government, and we still don't have it. We know that the IRS, they want to grow by at least 15,000 employees in 2024. And then when you take into account the attrition, people retiring, people quitting, people transferring, the real number is closer to 52,000 people just to stay on track. Next, we had the State Department. We saw this agency decrease by over 2,000 people recently. Last year, the State Department kicked off a very aggressive, ambitious hiring plan, more than they've done in the past decade. And they've even set up their own retention unit. So there's like an office that just focuses on retention, trying to identify the reasons why people are leaving, and they're even authorized to extend bonuses and incentives to keep people from leaving. They built up a huge facility recently in order to assist with the training of new employees that they're anticipating in 2024. If you are interested in working around the world, maybe you want to work in Italy, Spain, Germany, something like that, the Department of State is one of the best agencies when it comes to international work. If you want to leave this country and go experience a different culture, a different location, they're great for that. Another thing that the Department of State is known for is that for most employees, they require secret clearance or top secret clearance. Now, when it comes to the clearances, a lot of times this can extend the hiring process. So what's normally a 4 to 6 month process can easily be pushed out to up to 12 months or even maybe over a year in some cases. The next one is the Federal Aviation Administration. The big focus here is air traffic controllers. If you're under 30 years old, this could be a great opportunity. Right now, they only have 10,000 air traffic controllers. What they need 14,000. So that's 4,000 that they're hoping to get this year and in 2025. But it's not just air traffic controllers. There are a lot of administrative type jobs that fall under the FAA. And there is a competitive pay band that will pay you more than the GS pay band. In some cases, your salary could potentially exceed $200,000 a year. If you are interested in getting a federal government job, you should be attending virtual federal hiring events. So you have the opportunity to meet potentially a human resource specialist, or maybe you could even meet a hiring manager. These are happening almost every week. If you want me to email you weekly on the latest virtual federal hiring events, sign up to the free newsletter down below. After that, we have the Department of Homeland Security. DHS is a huge federal agency. They're like a giant umbrella with many sub-agencies that fall underneath them, including Customs, Immigration, TSA, FEMA, Coast Guard, and the Secret Service. The spotlight right now is on the southern border. It's on immigration. So they need people in Border Patrol. They need immigration attorneys, things like that. But there are other agencies underneath the DHS that will be hiring as well. DHS should be hiring tens of thousands of people throughout 2024. Now, in addition to the agencies I just mentioned, there are a couple of more that I believe will ramp up their hiring this year. The first one is the Social Security Administration. The SSS is staffed at an all-time low, and the claims are at an all-time high. This is largely due to the pandemic. When the pandemic hit, there were tens of thousands of new claims that were hitting SSA. But SSA didn't have any more staff. So what that meant is their people became overworked, stressed, and they don't feel that work-life balance. So they ended up leaving. They didn't like their leadership also. They ended up leaving out of that agency. So the agency is in a real tough spot right now because the claims are not going away. This could mean opportunities for you. It takes the right leadership in the right positions in order to have organizational change, and you could be part of that movement. Another agency that could be expanding is the Department of Agriculture. They will be involved in a project to bring broadband internet to over 6 million Americans by 2025. Also, if you take a look at their staffing, it has dropped by nearly 20% recently. This isn't good because if you take a look at their annual performance report that they have on their own website, they're not meeting their goals. You can see here that over half their goals have not been met or they need improvement. I could see them easily adding on to their workforce in 2024. And if we jump on usajobs.gov right now, we can see there are over 400 jobs in the USDA. Most of these jobs, they're in the 1862 series, which is consumer safety inspection, and the 0400 series, which covers the sciences. If you are completely new to applying for federal government jobs, what I would recommend to you is just leave your filters open. I would not discriminate on one agency or the other agency because the end goal for you is to get into the federal government, become a status candidate, and then you'll have more opportunities that open up to you. You can apply for internal opportunities, but also external. You can start off at the USDA and then jump to the Department of Justice if that is what interests you. But the first step is to actually get into the government. Also, we have to keep in mind that this is an election year. We do not know if we will have a Democratic president or a Republican president. Now, when the president shifts, when they change, when the administration changes over, a lot of the senior executives, they get switched out too. And with new people in key leadership roles throughout the federal agencies, we could be seeing new priorities, right? New personalities at the top could shake things up. And now maybe an agency is trying to shrink, an agency is trying to grow. We won't really know that type of information until early 2025. If you are still interested in getting a federal government job, a lot of people, when they first enter into the federal hiring process, they get confused, they get lost and discouraged because yes, it can be confusing. If you want to know the exact steps on how to get a federal government job, on what to expect when you start the process, then I want you to watch this video next. If you would like to see more videos like this, please click like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.